3 weeks ago in Phoenix, Arizona, at 2:14 a.m. in the parking lot of Banner Estrella Medical Center, an emergency room nurse named Lisa Coleman sat in her 2014 Toyota Camry, drinking gas station coffee and crying. Lisa is 47, 3 kids, recently divorced, just finished a 14-hour shift. She had pulled up an online retirement calculator on her phone during her dinner break. She typed in her current 401k balance, $32,000. She typed in her age, 47. She typed in her target retirement age, 67. She hit calculate. The screen showed her projected monthly retirement income at age 67. The number was small enough that Lisa stared at it for a full minute before she understood it. Then she put her phone down and sat in the dark for the rest of her break. By the time she walked back into the ER at 7 p.m., she had decided one thing. She did not know what to do, but she was going to find out. 2 weeks later, Lisa had a 5-step catch-up plan. Within the first month of executing it, she had already redirected more than $14,000 a year of new money into the right accounts. By age 67, assuming she follows the plan, she will retire with somewhere between $720,000 and $940,000. Not $1 million. Not what someone who started at 25 would have, but enough. More than enough to be safe. I'm Trish, and I read the policies and the math behind them. So Lisa's exact 5-step plan, built specifically for late starters in their 40s and 50s, you're going to know by the end of this video. Whether you have $5,000 saved or $200,000, whether you're 38 or 58, the plan compresses what should have taken 30 years into a much shorter window. And it works. If you are anywhere between 38 and 58 years old and you have ever pulled up a retirement calculator and felt that exact pit in your stomach, you are not alone. Not even close. The data is brutal. The average Gen X 401k balance right now is about $549,000. That sounds like a lot until you realize the math says you need somewhere between $1.2 million and $1.8 million by 65 to retire comfortably in most American cities. The median Gen X 401k balance is dramatically lower than the average. The average is dragged up by a small number of high balance accounts. The middle of the curve is closer to $130,000 to $180,000 by age 50. Half of Gen X is on track, half is not. For the half that's not, and for everyone in their 40s who feels like they're behind, the personal finance internet is brutal. Every article tells you what you should have done. Maxed retirement accounts in your 20s. Bought a house at 29. Built a 6-month emergency fund by 32. Started a Roth at 23 and let it compound. If you didn't do those things, the articles make you feel like the door is closed. It isn't. There is a specific catch-up framework, built around 5 moves, that takes someone like Lisa, at 47 with $32,000 saved, and gets them to retirement security by 67, not to wealth, not to early retirement, to safety. The framework works because of 3 specific tools the IRS wrote into the tax code for late starters. 3 tools nobody told Lisa about. 3 tools that turn the next 15 to 20 years of her career into the most powerful retirement-saving years of her life. Today, I'm walking you through Lisa's exact 5 steps. The ones she did, the order she did them in, the amounts that worked at her income. So if you're behind by any amount at any age, you have a blueprint. Before we go in, one thing matters more than any specific tactic. The single biggest myth about retirement saving is that the early years matter most. They don't. The middle years matter most, specifically the years between 45 and 60. Why? Because of how compounding actually works. The first $50,000 you save in your 20s grows for 40 years before you touch it. Each dollar quietly multiplies into about $20 to $30 by retirement, but the $50,000 you save at 50 grows for only 17 years. Each dollar grows to about $5 to $7 by retirement. Sounds bad until you do the comparison correctly. The amount you can save monthly at age 50 is usually 5 to 10 times what you could save monthly at age 25. The early career version of you was paying off student loans, scraping for a security deposit, eating ramen. The mid-career version of you, even in a tight budget, has dramatically more cash flow. Lisa's mom, who worked the same nursing job, saved $50 a month in her 20s. Not because she was lazy, because that's all there was after rent and groceries. Lisa, at 47, is finding $1,200 a month she can redirect. Same person, different decade, 24 times more saving capacity. The compound returns on the 25-year-old's $50 are smaller than the compound returns on the 47-year-old's $1,200, even with fewer years to grow. You should have started at 25 guilt is mostly false. The math says, start now, save harder, use the right accounts, and the next 15 to 20 years can do most of the work. That's what Lisa figured out. Here's how she did it. Move 1. The employer match audit. Lisa got home from her ER shift on the morning after the parking lot night, slept 5 hours, made coffee, sat at her kitchen table with her laptop. She started with her current job, Phoenix Area Hospital System. She'd been there 11 years. Her current 401k contribution rate, 3%. The hospital's match, 100% up to 6%. Lisa had been leaving half the match on the table for 11 years. She did the math, slowly, with a pen and paper. Her annual salary is $94,000. The 3% she'd been contributing was $2,820 a year. The hospital was matching that exact amount, so she'd been getting $2,820 of free money every year. If she'd been contributing 6%, $5,640, the hospital would have matched the full $5,640. Free money she missed each year, $2,820. Across 11 years, with average compound growth, the missed match alone was approximately $58,000 of money she could have had in her 401k that she didn't have because nobody had explained the match to her in onboarding 11 years ago, and she'd never thought to ask. She felt sick for about 20 minutes. Then she logged into her HR portal, changed her contribution rate from 3% to 6%. Took 90 seconds. Effective the next pay period, her contributions doubled and the hospital's match doubled along with them. Total annual addition to her 401k from this single change, $5,640 of new money, $2,820 hers, $2,820 the hospital's. Move 1. The free money she'd been declining for over a decade, captured in 90 seconds. This is the first move every late starter should make, before any other strategy, before HSA optimization, before backdoor Roths, before debt payoff. Capture the full employer match. It is the single highest return investment any working American has access to. A 100% immediate return on the contributed dollar. There is nothing else like it. If your employer offers a match and you're not capturing all of it, you are voluntarily declining a raise. Stop doing that today. Move 2. The catch-up unlock. Lisa kept reading. She found something on the IRS website that made her sit up straight. She was 47. In 3 years, she'd hit 50. At 50, the IRS allows what's called a catch-up contribution. On of the standard 401k limit of $24,500 for 2026, anyone 50 or older can contribute an additional $8,000 a year. That brings the total possible 401k contribution to $32,500. Then it gets better. Between ages 60 and 63, there's an enhanced catch-up called the Super Catch-up of $11,250 instead of $8,000, bringing the total possible 401k contribution in those 4 specific years to $35,750. Lisa did the math. If she contributed at the standard limit from age 50 to 59, $32,500 a year, that's $325,000 over 10 years, plus the super catch-up of $35,750 a year from 60 to 63. That's $143,000 over 4 years, plus 3 years between 47 and 50 at lower contributions, call that $30,000. Total contributions she could make between now and 65, just into her 401k, just from her own paycheck plus the employer match, was over $750,000. Compounded at conservative growth assumptions, that single account alone gets to about $720,000 by 65. Lisa stared at the screen. She had been writing herself off as too late for retirement saving. The IRS had built a structure specifically for people in her exact situation. She just had never opened the right page. She bookmarked the catch-up rules, set a calendar reminder for her 50th birthday. The day she becomes eligible, the contribution rate goes up. Move 2 was the recognition. The IRS wrote the rules to favor late starters. The middle years aren't the disadvantage. They're the actual heart of the retirement building window. Move 3. The old 401k reunion. Lisa, like most Americans, had worked at multiple employers before her current hospital. 3 other jobs since college. 2 of them had 401k plans she'd contributed to. She had no idea what was in those accounts. She spent a Saturday afternoon with her phone, calling each former employer's HR department, asking the same question. Do I still have a 401k balance from when I worked there? 2 of the 3 said yes. The first one, a hospital in Tucson, where she'd worked from 2008 to 2011, had $14,200 sitting in a 401k Lisa had completely forgotten about. The second one, a small clinic where she'd worked briefly in 2013, had $3,800. Total found money, $18,000, just sitting there. In old plans, charging her management fees, in target date funds chosen by people who didn't know her. Lisa rolled both old 401s into a single rollover IRA at her current brokerage, took 2 phone calls and 1 form per account. Net cost, $0. The rollovers happened tax-free as direct trustee-to-trustee transfers. Now her $18,000 is consolidated in 1 account, where she can manage the investment allocation, lower the fee structure, and see it on the same screen as her current 401k. This move costs nothing. It saves money in fees. It cleans up the financial fragmentation that costs late career savers thousands of dollars in unnecessary expenses every year. If you've worked anywhere with a 401k and you don't remember what's in it, call the HR department this week. There's a good chance you have money you don't know about. Lisa found $18,000. The average forgotten 401k balance in America is around $55,000. Move 4. The HS a nobody explained. This is the move David Park figured out 2 videos ago. Lisa figured it out the next week. Lisa's hospital offered a high-deductible health insurance option that came with an HSA. She'd been on a different plan, a more expensive PPO with no HSA, for 11 years. When she pulled up her benefits portal during open enrollment season, she ran the numbers. The HSA-eligible plan had a higher deductible but $3,800 a year less in premiums. Plus, access to a health savings account she could max at $8,750 for the family limit in 2026. The HSA is the single best account in the IRS code, triple tax advantaged, contributions deductible, growth tax-free, withdrawals for medical expenses tax-free. After 65, withdrawals for any purpose are taxed like a traditional IRA. Lisa switched plans for the next plan year. Her premium went down by $3,800 a year. Her HSA contribution went up to the max, $8,750 a year. Automatic, deducted from her paycheck before taxes. She set up the HSA balance to invest in a low-cost index fund. She'll pay any medical bills from her regular checking and let the HSA compound in the background. Over the next 18 years to age 65, an annual $8,750 contribution at modest growth becomes approximately $310,000 of triple tax-advantaged retirement money that she did not have access to before. From a benefits choice she'd been making wrong for 11 years. Move 4. Fix the benefits selection. The choice you made in onboarding 11 years ago is not the choice you have to keep making. Move 5. The boring one that does the most work. The fifth move is the one Lisa nearly skipped because it sounded boring. It turned out to be the one that did the most work. The move, every dollar of every raise, every bonus, and every windfall for the next 15 years goes directly into retirement accounts, before it touches her checking, before she sees it, before her brain decides what to do with it. Lisa called HR a third time. Set up an automatic contribution escalator. The hospital's plan has a feature where her 401k contribution rate automatically increases by 1 percentage point every January until it hits a cap. She set the cap at 15%. Then she set a personal rule. Any bonus she gets, and ER nurses get them, goes directly into her IRA before the check clears. Not partially, fully. The amount is small enough that she doesn't notice it missing in her budget, compounded across the next 15 years, meaningful. Then she set a third rule. Any tax refund, any dental refund, any insurance settlement, any gift over $500, any side work payment from picking up extra shifts, all of it, straight into the rollover IRA. This is the move that separates Lisa's catch-up plan from a wish list. Without the automation, the math doesn't happen. Lisa would intend to contribute the bonus, and then it would somehow get spent on the kids' braces or the car repair, same way it had for 11 years. With the automation, every additional dollar she earns from now on, above her current baseline budget, is structurally rerouted into retirement accounts before her brain can intervene. Across the next 15 years, with a few raises and the inevitable bonuses, this move alone is projected to contribute another $180,000 to $240,000 of money she'd otherwise have spent. Walter, the retired accountant from earlier in this series, calls this paying yourself before you can argue with yourself. It's the most underused move in personal finance, especially for late starters. The total, what Lisa's 5 Moves project, added up, the full employer match starting now, the catch-up contribution starting at 50, super catch-up at 60, the consolidated old 401ks invested properly, the maxed HSA, the escalating contribution rate plus all bonuses and windfalls automated. By age 67, Lisa's projected retirement assets between $720,000 and $940,000 for a 47-year-old who started with $32,000 in a 20-year window. Those numbers won't make her rich. They will make her safe. She'll have the option to retire at 67 instead of working until 75. She'll have the option to take a lower-paying job at 62 if she wants to slow down. She'll have a buffer when something unexpected happens, and something always does. That is what the catch-up plan is for, not wealth, safety. If you start the same 5 moves at 38, your projected number is closer to $1.4 to $1.8 million. If you start at 55, your projected number is closer to $380,000 to $520,000. The earlier you start, the more compounding does. The later you start, the more the IRS catch-up provisions do. Both work. Neither is too late. The one that doesn't work is the one you don't start. 3 objections come up here. Let me handle them. Objection 1. I can't afford to contribute that much. Almost certainly false. Almost certainly the wrong frame. The question isn't, can I afford to contribute the maximum? The question is, what's the largest amount I can contribute right now without disrupting my essential expenses? For Lisa, the answer to that question was much higher than she'd assumed. When she actually wrote down her real essential expenses, housing, food, kids, transportation, insurance, basic family, she had about $1,200 a month of cash flow she'd been quietly spending on things that didn't matter to her. Eating out 3 or 4 times a week, mostly because she was tired. Subscription services she didn't use, Amazon orders she barely remembered, gifts that had crept up to a budget no one had set. When she audited honestly, she found the contribution capacity. Most people do. The fix: for 1 week, write down every dollar you spend. Compare it to your real essentials. The gap is bigger than you think. That gap funds the catch-up plan. Objection 2. What if the market crashes between now and 67? It will, probably more than once. The market crashes and recovers regularly. The S&P 500 has had crashes of 20% or more, roughly every 5 to 7 years on average for the past 50 years. What matters is what you do during the crash. Late starters who panic and pull money out during downturns lock in their losses and miss the recovery. Late starters who keep contributing through the crash at the same rate or higher, buy more shares at the lower prices and benefit dramatically when the recovery comes. The historical math is clear. Every single 15-year window in American stock market history has produced positive returns. The shorter the window, the more variable the outcome. The longer the window, the more consistent. Lisa has 20 years. That window has historically been very kind to disciplined contributors. Not guaranteed, but heavily in her favor. Objection 3. I'm 56. Is it actually too late for me? No. The catch-up provisions get even better between 60 and 63 with the super catch-up. You have 9 to 11 years of peak earning ahead of you, plus the most generous contribution limits the IRS offers anywhere in the entire tax code. A 56-year-old maxing the catch-ups from now until 65 can realistically add $400,000 to $600,000 to retirement assets, even starting from a low base. Combined with delayed Social Security claims to 70, that creates a meaningful retirement income bridge. The 56-year-old version of the plan looks slightly different than Lisa's. More aggressive contribution rate, more focus on the super catch-up window, more attention to coordinating Social Security and Medicare timing. But the framework is the same. It is not too late. It will be later if you wait another year. So don't wait another year. Action steps, 3 steps. This week, none of them require you to be rich. Step 1. Tomorrow morning, the employer match capture. Log into your HR portal. Find your current 401k contribution percentage. Find your employer's match formula. If you're not contributing enough to capture the full match, change it today, this week, before you finish this video if your phone allows. For most people, the match maxes out somewhere between 4 and 6% of salary. If you're below that, raise your rate. Today, the HR portal change takes 90 seconds. You will see a slightly smaller paycheck. The difference is mostly offset by the immediate tax deduction. The match is free money. You are leaving it on the table every pay period you don't capture it. Step 2. This Saturday, the old 401k reunion. Make a list of every employer you've worked at where you had access to a 401k. Even briefly, call each former employer's HR department. Ask one question: do I still have a 401k balance from my time there? If yes, request the rollover paperwork. Roll the balance into a single IRA at your current brokerage. The rollover is tax-free as a direct trustee-to-trustee transfer. You'll likely find money you'd forgotten about. Average forgotten 401k balance per person is in the tens of thousands. 90 minutes on a Saturday. Years of consolidated growth. Step 3. This open enrollment, the benefits audit. When your annual benefits enrollment opens, usually between October and December, review every plan option. Do not auto-renew last year's choices. Check whether an HSA-eligible plan is available. Run the numbers on premium difference plus HSA contribution. For most late career savers, switching to the HSA eligible plan and maxing, the HSA is the single highest return benefits change available. Set the HSA contribution to the maximum family or individual limit. Move the HSA balance from cash into investments. Pay current medical bills from regular cash flow. 20 minutes during enrollment. Decades of triple tax-advantaged growth. 3 steps: the match, the reunion, the benefits audit. Lisa did them in 14 days. You can do them this week. If this video helped you, or if you've ever sat in a parking lot late at night feeling like the door had closed, do me one favor: hit the subscribe button. New video on this channel every single day. Each one is a specific move that puts real money back in your pocket. Same way this one just did. And here's what's coming tomorrow that almost nobody is talking about. There is a specific credit mistake that quietly destroys credit scores between ages 28 and 45. It happens to almost every responsible person at some point. It does not feel like a mistake when you do it. It often feels like a smart move. It involves closing an old credit card you no longer use. Tomorrow, I walk you through why this single, well-intentioned move can drop your credit score by 30 to 80 points overnight. The specific reason it happens, the specific cards you should never close even if you don't use them, and the right way to handle the unused cards in your wallet without accidentally torpedoing your credit at the worst possible moment. If you have any unused credit cards in a drawer right now, tomorrow's video is mandatory. I'm Trish. Talk to you then.